Welcome to today's episode. We have an amazing guest with us, Tiffany Gill. Tiffany is an entrepreneur and inventor who created the viral company Sheza Socks, foam padded socks to prevent painful blisters. Her company has gone viral on social media, gaining over 100 million views worldwide. Today, we'll uncover the story behind Sheza Socks, delve into Tiffany's entrepreneurial journey, and discover how she's achieved such remarkable success. Let's get started. Hi, Tiffany. It's great to have you here. I would love to learn more about you and your journey.
Yeah, I'm excited to share.
So, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
I am Tiffany. I grew up in Orange County, SoCal area, and both of my parents are business owners, so I've always known that I've wanted to go down an entrepreneurial path. So when I was in, let's see, elementary school, I was selling guppies to my classmates. I would have a lot of lemonade stands, and I was always trying to find ways to make money on my own. But I really fell into entrepreneurship when I was involved in a couple of different programs in high school. So I was involved in the Thai program. It's called the Young Entrepreneur Program. I was doing that when I was in high school. And basically, you come together and like all the students come up with a business idea, and then you basically spend a couple of months putting together a business plan, how you're going to do marketing, how you're going to launch, etc. And that was really helpful because um, when I was in high school, I started to experience the problem that my business now solves. But I was breaking in a pair of leather Doc Marten boots, and I was super excited to wear them. They were just the coolest shoes ever at the time. I mean, they're still pretty timeless as well now. But after wearing them around high school for an entire day, I got really bad, terrible, bloody blisters on the very back of my heel. And this would happen every single time that I would put on these shoes, which was very frustrating for me because they were very expensive. Like, I really wanted to wear them. They're very fashionable, but they just hurt my feet so bad. Fast forward, after being in the Young Entrepreneur program, after being in programs at my junior college. I went to Orange Coast College in Orange County. Then I went to San Diego State University, and being involved in all those entrepreneurship programs, reaching out to entrepreneurs, everyone, I was able to develop my business, which is now Shaza Socks. It's a sock company that has a foam cushion on the very back of the heel to prevent blisters from new or hard to break in shoes. It's really common with leather boots, with cleats, running shoes, and some people just have feet, kind of a foot shape that sticks out more than others as well. So that's a little bit about my background of how I got started and a little bit about me. As growing up in SoCal, I love the beach. I love to go surfing. I have my scuba diving license. I have my boating license. And my biggest passion is traveling. So I've been to about 33 countries so far. And next year, I'm planning to go to Asia, go to Indonesia, China, Philippines, and probably Thailand.
Wow, well, that's really cool. And how you solve that problem by entrepreneurship is amazing. But I've heard that entrepreneurship is not easy, it has a lot of challenges. So, what were some challenges that you had to face, and what motivated you to keep going?
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting. Entrepreneurship does have a lot of challenges, but I would say, honestly, every career path has challenges. I mean, you work so hard, you might study, you might go to school for a long time to go down a certain career path. Anything you do is going to have a lot of hard work. You're going to have to put time into it, and it's not going to be easy. But I really do love entrepreneurship so much because you can create something out of nothing. And I think that is just so motivating to kind of keep you going every single day when things do get hard. I would say the hardest thing is that um, you kind of just have to figure it out. You have to find somebody to talk to. You have to do your own research online. It's not like, oh, okay, you can, in order to be a lawyer, you have to go to law school for X number of years and then study this and you have to pass this bar exam. There's like a proven path for every career path, whereas entrepreneurship, there's not, it's still kind of new and there's not too much training on it. There are a lot of great courses, but yeah, I think the biggest thing is just figuring it out and reaching out to the right people. Uh, as an entrepreneur, you have to juggle everything, every aspect of business, coming up with the idea, manufacturing, marketing. managing people, hiring. There's so many different buckets that you have to just put on many different hats and be kind of master of many. So I think that's a challenge in itself and just managing everything, keeping your head on straight even when you're like freaking out on the inside. Let's see some other challenges. Yeah, I'd say just yeah, doing new things for the very first time and even being in business for almost over 2 years, every day I'm learning something new. So just trying to figure it out and make sure that I have the right people to reach out to.
That's great. So, how were you able to manage like all those jobs in the initial days of your business? Like, how were you able to do this?
Yes, in my initial days, I would say when I was in college is when I really started taking action on my business. And it was because I was involved in a really great entrepreneurship program at my school, San Diego State University. It was called the Zip Launchpad, and basically you can go in there if you have a business idea, pitch, and if the people in charge of the program they like your idea and think that it has a good chance of succeeding, there's a good market for it, they let you into the program, and you can utilize many different resources such as access to funding up to $5,000 of funding. You can access mentors that have years and years of knowledge. They help you with prototyping for your idea. So, and they also just provide a really great structure of, okay, step one, what is the problem? Step two, who are you solving it for? How big is the market? And why is there a need? They just help you with a lot of, with structure of what are the steps to take in order to launch your business successfully and make sure that you're building a product that people want. So, being involved in entrepreneurship programs like this, um, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those programs that I was in like that.
Wow, that's great. You mentioned the Zip Launchpad takes your ideas and helps you go forward with them. So we all have so many ideas, and it can be kind of hard to decide which ones we want to implement and go forward with. So what inspired you to stick with the idea of Sheza socks?
Yes, so I actually didn't start my business until 10, almost 7 years after I got my idea. I got my idea when I was in high school and I didn't quite know how to start a business. But what kept me motivated to keep going and continue working on my idea was that I didn't want to work for somebody else. That always stayed in the back of my mind that I have an idea, if you get a business idea and it's planted into your mind, something that not a lot of people can do or come up with ideas. I would think about my idea and I would ask people around me, "Oh, hey, do you get blisters?" And some would say, "Oh, yes, I always get blisters with these type of shoes." I realized that it wasn't just a problem that I faced, but there's other people that face this problem too, and that I took a sewing class and I created a solution and I didn't get blisters anymore. So I thought, what if, I mean, I don't want to work for somebody else. I can work and just basically help, you know, help somebody else get to their dream goal of, being a successful entrepreneur. But I mean, if I have an idea, I can do it myself too. So just knowing that, thinking long term, that I didn't want to work for somebody for the rest of my life, and that the idea that I did have, it was solving a real problem that people did have, that I thought, even though I have no idea what I'm doing, I should try to keep working on it and little by little making progress, and like one day it could be a business idea that I launched successfully. Now I'm here and I'm so happy that I invested all that time, all that effort, that I was involved in all those programs because I've learned so much, and now I do support myself. I have my own business, I have employees, and we've been able to solve this blister problem for thousands and thousands of people, and it's really just the beginning. So it's very exciting.
Wow, it's inspiring how you, as so many people, stuck to your passion, went forward with it. That's great. So you mentioned
contractors.
how did you start building this team? I mean, you said that you had to manage many jobs in the beginning. So how did you delegate these jobs?
Mhm. Yeah, so it first started with when I was at San Diego State through the entrepreneurship program that we were in. The program would actually pay for interns to be on my team and help me basically build the business, which was really, really awesome. And I would say I pretty much just started with interns and learned the other part of business is managing people and like delegating tasks and things. So it first started when I was at San Diego State. I would say I had about anywhere from 2 to 5 interns every semester after that. And I continue to work with about five interns every semester still because I love working with young people, college students. I think young people have so many ideas. They, especially when it comes to social media marketing, they know the trends much earlier than people who are a little bit older do. So that's how I started building the team, is working mostly with interns. And then one of the interns that I did have, she was just awesome. She helped me so much in the business that I thought, okay, I think I could hire her full time. I think I have the resources to do it. So I brought her on board, and she's been with me for almost 2 years now, since the very beginning. And then just working with other people on Upwork, contractors. I have a lot of virtual assistants that I work with in the Philippines as well. So yeah, it's a pretty small, lean team, but it's very doable, and looking to expand the team soon and probably within the next year and keep growing.
Okay. So you mentioned social media. You've had a viral success for your business in social media, and I read in your bio that one of your strengths is marketing. So, for those watching, how do you describe marketing, and when did you first discover your skill in this area?
I would describe marketing as catching people's attention. Everyone has a very short attention span, so if you can capture somebody's attention, keep them entertained, keep them watching, have them investigate more, maybe check out your website, then that's success right there in marketing. And I would say I was working for I right after I graduated college, I worked for about a year at a startup, and I learned a lot of really great skills about digital marketing. But I would say that just being a young person, growing up with social media since I was in middle school, I just understand social media, how trends work, how you need to jump on trends quickly. If there's something funny, a funny audio, then if you can twist it in a way to um, utilize it for your own business and make people laugh or make people engaged. Yes, that's successful marketing right there. And I would say that I just would post kind of random things on social media, or I would find trends, find funny audios, and then I'd say, "Oh, that's a really good idea," and then I'd have an intern go out and put the video together. I already had all the content filmed of everything, and then I would basically just delegate the social media to the interns and say, hey, this is really funny. Can you make a video to this? Or can you recreate this? And then from that, we've had many, many viral videos that have reached in the millions and millions of views just from testing things out, trying it out. A lot of the videos that you create, they don't have to be like high budget, they're the best camera, nothing like that. I mean, you can create so many amazing things with just an iPhone now. You don't have to have special microphones. You just need to have some good lighting, an iPhone, and honestly, like there are endless opportunities. So it's a very exciting world we live in with marketing, and it's changing, and I feel like it's easier now than it ever has been. But it might not stay like this though, so that's why people need to definitely hop on things quickly. And one other tool or tip that I do is if I create a video on TikTok, I spread it across all different platforms. The exact same video that I create on TikTok, I will repost that same video on Instagram Reels. I'll repost it on Pinterest, and I'll repost it on YouTube Shorts to just really squeeze the juice out of everything that I create.
Nice.
Because some things do perform really well on one platform more than the other. So sometimes I've had videos that maybe got like 10,000 views on TikTok, but then it goes crazy viral on Instagram and gets like over a million. So it really just depends. That's why I just push everything out through many different platforms.
Nice. That's a good advice do you have for future entrepreneurs to improve in marketing?
What advice do I have for other future entrepreneurs regarding marketing? I would say most important thing is to just be curious. Social media, working with influencers, that's what's worked really well for us now. Who knows if it's going to stay that way into the future? I don't think it's going away. I'd say just find ways that you can market yourself without having to spend a lot of money. Just like guerrilla marketing, you could do something kind of crazy, like wild, or like do some crazy experiment, just something to really capture people's attention. And just there's so many different trends you can hop on. When you're scrolling, don't just scroll for entertainment, scroll for, okay, like this is a really good video that went super viral. There were so many reactions to it. How can I use this style or use what I see right here on my screen to basically recreate it or use it in my own way or use it towards my business? So I'd say just, yeah, scrolling for learning, basically. Just if there's a lot of successful videos or trends that are working for one business or one um, area in business related to whatever you're creating, then yeah, just try things out and don't be afraid. Like post something, even if it gets 0 likes, barely any views, just do it and keep pushing because most people that create videos, there's only a certain percentage, like a small percentage, maybe under 5%, that end up going viral anyway. So don't be afraid to just post, post, post. And also with your followers, you're building trust, you're building like a familiar face for people that do follow you.
How important would you say social media is for the success of a business? And when did you first realize that marketing is really important?
Right. I think today social media is very important for business because it shows credibility. If somebody has like, 10 followers, then they might say, oh, this is maybe not as legit. But if somebody has 10,000 followers, they're like, oh, wow, a lot of people follow them. It's just a lot more social proof. So I think people should focus on social media a lot. And yeah, I mean, without marketing, you don't have a business. If people don't know about your product, then how are they ever going to know? So I think marketing, after you build a product and get everything in line, then it's one of the most important parts of any and every business.
Great. So we now know that marketing is really important, but you mentioned that you went to SDSU and studied entrepreneurship there. So what other skills do you think are really important for aspiring entrepreneurs?
I would say it's nothing related to coursework. I think one of the most important, I guess, qualities of an entrepreneur, um, other than skills, is your mind, your mindset, the way you talk to yourself, what goes on in your mind. Because if you're constantly doubting yourself, if you're constantly like, oh, I don't think this is gonna, man, like, oh, like, I don't know anything, this or that, then you're not gonna start that business. But if you believe in yourself and you say, okay, this is hard, I'm facing challenges, okay, how am I gonna get past this? Then only those people will make it. You have to be incredibly resilient. Yes, you got to be hard on yourself and realistic with yourself. And if you have an idea or a business that maybe you haven't gotten really good feedback, maybe people are saying, oh, that's way too expensive, or oh, I would never use that, then take that feedback and maybe you need to pivot, change something you're doing in the business to make it work for people. Maybe you need to change, do a different idea. And that's okay because that's all a part of the process. I actually started with a different business idea that was just not going to work out. I would have had to raise a lot of money that I didn't have. But all those learnings made me learn that I didn't really like software technology very much, but I do like physical products. And then then that second business, the sock business, is what I was able to create and is now successful and has reached over 100 million views across social media and through working with influencers. So I would say mindset in your mind is the most important thing. And you don't have to go to school for that. There's a lot of great YouTube videos, a lot of great content of just your mind is right and that you have the right mindset. And then skills, marketing is very important. As an entrepreneur, you kind of just need to have a grasp of everything, as I was mentioning before. So I think YouTube is your best friend. If you don't know how to do something, then YouTube it. If you don't know how to do something, ask the people around you if they know how to do something or if they know somebody that does. So reach out to your family, say, hey, who do you know that's in the like social media marketing space? Who do you know that works in manufacturing? And just reach out to the people you know because you can't do it alone. It's really, really hard to do it alone. And I've had so many people help me along the way that if I didn't know how to do something, if ChatGPT can't help me, if YouTube can't help me, then I reach out to my network and I will find somebody that does. So I think just being um, very resourceful, being scrappy. In entrepreneurship, you have to know so many different skills. So it just kind of really depends on what business you're building. To be honest, kind of depends.
Nice. So you said mindset was extremely important. So how were you able to develop that mindset? And during your time as an entrepreneur, how have you changed? And what are some of the most valuable lessons you've learned along the way? How did you develop that mindset as an entrepreneur, like resilience and being curious? First of all,
I would say I developed my entrepreneurial mindset from my father, so he owns an auto body shop, and he he's a businessman. He just always taught me to be super tough, super strong. If something gets you down, don't let it stay that way. You know, you got to be tough, you got to be strong, no crying. Just get back up there and keep going. Life is hard, but that's also what makes life beautiful is that, there's so many challenges in the way that when you overcome those challenges, then, that's just the best feeling ever. To know that, you struggled and you overcame. I would say also through watching YouTube videos, motivational YouTube videos, watching speeches, TED Talks, just always filling my mind with good content, with people that are very positive, that are very successful, and they were my role models. Then I'm not the best book reader, but I do love audiobooks. I just feel like it's hard to make time in the day when you're so busy to sit down and read a book. But if I'm driving in my car, I listen to audiobooks. And there's actually, if you have a library card, you can get this app called Libby, and you can connect your library card to it, and you can get a lot of free audiobooks. So I highly recommend that. And if you want to listen to some audiobooks, but you don't want to pay for it, they're all on YouTube, so I would just listen for free on YouTube. And then I think just surrounding myself with positive people too. If there was anyone that was ever really negative or just always talk down on themselves, talk down on people around them, then they're not my friends and gotta move on to another group of people or another friend. So I think just surrounding myself with positive people as well. And then how have I changed as an entrepreneur? So I think as an entrepreneur, I've changed. Well, before I had my business and before I got a lot of validation and customers, I was very doubtful of myself because it's scary. You're doing things for the very first time. You don't know if it's going to work out. I think once I did get that validation and I did have my first viral TikTok video and I got my very first customers, then my confidence definitely rose in my abilities. And even though I had no experience having a business before, really like you're kind of just going through the dark a lot of the times. And especially I was like, I'm still in college or I just graduated college. I don't know what I'm doing. Once I got that validation of those first customers, and I knew, okay, people really want this product. I have people in the video saying, oh my gosh, where's this been all my life? Oh my gosh, I always get blisters with my Doc Martens. Then I knew, wow, like I'm onto something and I'd better keep working and trying hard to make this successful because I validated it. So I think validation is so, so important. From that moment, my first validation moment, um, I was much more sure of myself. So now I feel much more sure of myself, confident because, um, yeah, you just kind of get thrown into many different situations every day, every month, every year as an entrepreneur. But it's all about mindset, overcoming, and you're constantly solving problems, which is also a kind of fun thing because I get very bored very easily. And I feel like I definitely do have ADD, ADHD, where I can't focus on sit on one task for so long. Being able to work on many different aspects of a business, it can be frightening, but it's also fun because I learn so much. And then I'm kind of juggling a lot of different areas of the business. And yeah, it's something new every day.
What were some of the valuable lessons that you learned along the way?
Some of the most valuable lessons that I've learned in entrepreneurship, number one, is to not be so hard on yourself. Yes, it's good to be hard on yourself and realistic, but how I mentioned before, always have the mindset of, okay, I'm facing this challenge now. How am I going to overcome it? So just knowing that you can always find a way. Another valuable lesson is your network is your net worth. So it's so true. It doesn't really matter what skills you have, it doesn't matter what experience you have, but the people you know and surround yourself with are the most important thing. It's equivalent as like money, basically. However bigger your network is, I think that's just as valuable as currency. Yeah, I I couldn't have gotten here without so many amazing mentors, business people that have done it before, that have given me advice. Having a mentor is so important because they might be 10 steps ahead, 20 steps ahead of where you are. And if you're struggling with something, you're like, oh, I'm trying to do this, but it's not working, they might be able to spot that out and say, hey, have you ever tried that? Or you're struggling with this, but I think you actually are struggling with this. Or they just might be able to pinpoint things out that you have no idea, that like you don't even see. There was one book that said, um, mentors, it's like you're walking through a valley and they're sitting on the top of a mountain and they see things ahead of your road that you're going to experience and you're going to encounter. And they're like, hey, don't you see um, that cliff right there? Yeah, that's right there. Okay, don't you see that pot of lava right there? Yeah, you need to go around. So it's kind of the same situation. So I think having mentors, building relationships with people that are further ahead of you is so important, and you're going to learn so much more than the people around you, than your peers. And then let's see. Let's see. I think constantly educating yourself. So, like I said, listening to audiobooks has been super key. Reading, if you can, meeting up with mentors, reaching out and saying, hey, can I get a cup of coffee with you? Hey, like, I'd love to ask you questions about this or that. Can I hop on a 15-minute Zoom call? And just learning as much as you can, especially if you don't know what business you want to start yet, just being able to be very knowledgeable, make those connections so that, when you do need help in a certain area, you know exactly who to go to and you've already formed that relationship. Let's see. And I think another important thing is to have certain outlets of fun. Being an entrepreneur, it can be very lonely. It's hard. You work a lot more than a lot of the people around you that might just be having a really great time on the weekend, but you need to stay in and you need to work. So I think having discipline and also having some fun outlets and taking some time away from your business too is important. And so I love to be outside in nature. I like to go surfing. I love to travel. So having that time where I can do things that I truly love and enjoy doing, yeah, like you can't just work 24/7 all day long. And like you need to also put things in there that you enjoy doing, because that's what life's about. Life's meant to be enjoyed, and you can work hard, but doing those things, are also very important to your own mental health and to make sure that you don't burn out as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Those are definitely some really important lessons that we should all implement in our lives. You mentioned mentors. You've had some great mentors along the way. So, who were those mentors? Like, who were some of the mentors you had and helped you?
Some of the mentors that I had were in the Young Entrepreneurship program when I was in high school that helped guide us through the business process of, if you have a business idea, what do you do next? What are the next steps to get you there? So I had a lot of mentors through that program. When I was at San Diego State University, I also had a mentorship program where you could basically get connected with people that are alumni or people in the community that are willing to mentor a student. And I always made sure to get a mentor every semester. And at first, it was kind of I didn't really know how to act or what a mentor relationship would even entail. And sometimes I would get on this call with somebody who was, had years and years of marketing experience, and I was just a little student, and she'd say, "Okay, what do you want to talk about today?" And I'd say, "I don't know." But even though, I could have been more prepared, it's okay to not know exactly what to do or what to say. And then she'd say, "Okay, well, here, how about we take a personality or like a strengths test? Like, I think you should do this and this and figure out what exact area of business or what exact area of marketing you want to go down. Or, hey, if you want to be an entrepreneur, have you done this, this, and that?" So through the programs that I was in, and they also have a program called I think it's called what is it? Let me find it. Or SBDC, Small Business Development Center. And that's free for anybody to use if you have a business or you're planning to work on a business. It's funded by the government, and they basically provide mentors or experts with certain areas of expertise that you can have meetings with, and they can help connect you with other people to help you launch your business or grow your business. So yeah, the Small Business Development Center, if you just look that up online, um, there's usually one local to every area. So there's Small Business Development Center of Los Angeles, of Atlanta, of San Diego, of Florida, etc. So just find your certain county or area. And I definitely recommend reaching out to the mentors there or the advisors there. And I think just at business events, I would meet a lot of people and connect with them and say, hey, if I have more questions on this topic, or I'd love to talk to you about this further, can I get your contact info, or what's the best way to reach out to you? And usually people are very happy to help. Most people want to help others. And if they don't, then maybe they're just not the right mentor or right person for you to be involved with.
And what do you like most about entrepreneurship today? Is it still the same as what initially motivated you to start your company? I know you mentioned that you love solving problems each day and every day's new. Yeah, it's still what you like the most, or has it changed?
I think the most exciting thing about entrepreneurship is creating something out of nothing. So, this idea that I had for my foam padded socks, this was just an idea in my head. 10 years later, now it's a real successful revenue generating business where I have employees, where I have interns, where I'm providing learning opportunities, learning experience for students. I have a lot of young people that come up to me and ask me questions that I mentor. So it has definitely changed. I think it's also exciting too that I'm like paying myself, that I don't have an employer that I have to ask a paycheck for. It's that it's coming out of, something that I created, my own business. So I think it's just a very fulfilling career path. And yeah, I have a blast every day, and it is really hard, and maybe it's not for everybody, but I mean, if you're gonna go study to be a doctor, you're gonna put like what, 10 or more years into studying anyway. Being an entrepreneur, you don't have to study 10 years. So you can actually get to a place you want to be much quicker. And what really inspired me to be an entrepreneur when I was a young person, when I was in high school, is I was in this class that helps you with college, and we had to do an assignment. Everybody basically had to pick a career path of what they're interested in, what they might want to study in college, what they might want to be. And some people said, oh, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a doctor. But all of those things had a cap. at like what income limit you could, or what income you could make. So, you know, at but with entrepreneurship, there's no cap of that. You can make endless amounts and create something all of your own. So that's just one thing that I thought was really interesting. And I've always been somebody that doesn't really like to follow rules. So if that's you and you don't really like to do everything else that everyone else does, but you kind of say, hey, everyone's doing that, I kind of want to do that instead, then entrepreneurship is probably for you. Yeah, it's fun, it's creative, it's hard work, but it's super, super fulfilling.
That's great. So I think that's a good place to end this. Do you have any final pieces of advice for anyone who's reached this point in the podcast?
Let's see. Final pieces of advice. One quote I love is a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Always push yourself outside of your comfort zone because then you're going to grow so much as a person. You're going to learn so much. And yeah, like the day you stop learning, you're dead, basically. Um, that's one of my favorite quotes that I live by. And then another quote that I like is, how does it go? I might be saying it wrong. Not everybody will remember what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. So that's so important. Is just to just be nice to everybody. I think if you're a good person and you do good things, then good things are automatically going to come back to you. But if you're a person that's, mean or help me out with this, or like you're just kind of demanding of things and you don't really give back, you know, karma, life comes around in other ways. So I think you overall just be nice, kind, always lend a helping hand. If a lot of people have helped you, then you need to give back as well. And then also stay on top of your health. Your health is your wealth. Without your health, you have nothing. So do your job of getting outside, going on walks, exercising, find a fun activity you like. Like whenever I go to the gym, I like to take Zumba classes. So I like to take dance classes because how can I be upset if I'm dancing? It's just something that I find fun. I like to go surfing and just get my body moving. And that also is so good for your mind and your mental health as well. So just doing your job of staying active because it is a priority, most definitely over honestly everything, and just doing your job of just eating clean, eating good portions, and overall have fun. It really is so cliche, but it's a journey. It's not about a destination. If I 10 years ago was to just get dropped right here, I would say, oh, this is cool, but like I don't really know what it means or I don't know the value of it because I wouldn't have known all the things that I've gone through and struggled with and overcome in this 10-year period. So, yeah, patience is key. It's all a journey.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you here, and thank you.